Hi, my name is Elizabeth Cameron, and I'm a co-founder and partner at Friday. We're a mission-driven strategy and design firm focused on three areas we believe are critical to shaping the future: learning that helps us realize our potential, work that gives us the opportunity to apply our talents, and communities that connect us to something bigger than ourselves. What started as a simple Skillshare presentation on asset-based language turned into a meaningful conversation about the negative stories too many young people hear and tell about themselves, and the power we have as communicators and educators to help them reshape that narrative. Inspired by that conversation, led by our lead copywriter, Deanna Benjamin, our team has designed this workshop in hopes that together we can hone the skills to do just that. The clips that follow are from Deanna's Skillshare. I hope they leave you as moved as I was and ready to dig in when we meet in Austin.
Okay, so some definitions. When I talk about asset-based or deficit-based, it's really simple in my mind in terms of what I mean. So when I say asset-based, I'm talking about prioritizing people or community's strengths, whereas deficit-based language prioritizes a person's or a community's weaknesses. So I like to use, I use my kids a lot as an example. If my kids are running in the YMCA like hooligans, well, that's already deficit-based language, right? So if I want to, if I want to communicate with them and inspire them to change, I could yell, stop running, but that's prioritizing the deficit. These children don't know how to act in public. I can say that because they're my kids. But if I want to prioritize the asset, a really simple reframe is, I love when you walk inside, or can you show me how to walk inside, or can you be a great leader? Do you take pride in the word dropout? Like I'm a Black person who does not use the N-word, but I have plenty of friends who love using that word. And so I definitely can understand how like there could be a lot of pride affiliated with certain terms that to me might seem like deficit. So I think this is super smart and important question is, how are these students talking about themselves? For me though, there's like another layer to it though. Because with this group, this type of student has been labeled like for all their entire life, pretty much by schools. And so when I think back to when I was a teacher and I'm thinking about my 9th grade students who would just tell me like, I just don't read. Like, I just can't do it. I'm just not, it's not a thing that I will do. I'm just dumb. Like so many kids would just say, I'm just dumb. And they would laugh and they would like flex those words. But there was also this, like, I feel like a lot of what we're also doing is one, we want to know what they think, but two, there's like, these are children, and John Muir, they're 16 to 25, so they're older, but they have stories that they're telling about themselves, and there's a role that we're playing here and offering them a different story about themselves that we hope is respectful and authentic.
This whole subject is like so personal to me because I finished high school, but I didn't finish college. And so I guess some people may say I'm a college dropout, right? That would be like the terminology. But then you don't know my whole story. You don't know the whole background about that. So like I'm looking at some of the words that you have here, and me personally, I'm not necessarily offended by it, but I don't like it. It doesn't inspire me. I don't see any of these words and be like, yeah, let me click to see what they have to offer. If anything, it's gonna hit a nerve with me and make me want to just walk away.
Yep.
Because this, I'm probably gonna get real personal in my whole life story, but I'm Puerto Rican, and obviously not every Puerto Rican or every Hispanic person lives the same life, but there's a lot of people who do, and you end up growing up in an environment where you don't see a lot of success, you don't see a lot of hope, you don't see a lot of going after goals or even knowing how to set goals, understanding any of that. So when you do go to the students, even though it would be nice to have what you were mentioning, Deanna, they're just kind of going to look at you and just have the opinion that other people have for them, because they were never given the opportunity to even have that thought, what do I want? What can I do? Because their environment has already defined them, that they're like, well, this is just what it is because look at my mom, look at my aunt, or and they accept it. And some people will take like, yeah, I'm a high school dropout and like wear it like a badge, but they're not really wearing it as a badge. It's just protection for them.
Yep.
So it's hard with stuff like this. That's why I'm sure that's why you're struggling so much. But to get the feedback of those students and to even ask them the question, have you ever dreamt before? Have you ever had a dream? Have you ever had a goal?
Yeah.
Do you even know how to dream? Do you even believe that dreams are meant for you? And I'm sure a lot of them are going to be like, no.
Mhm.
And like the whole, even that mindset of what you're discussing, Deanna, like the asset and the deficit, I can tell you like right off the bat, their brains are already never going to be asset. Like it's all deficit. All they see is the negative. All they see is the problem. And they're waiting for the solution, for the help, for the positive. But in the environment that they're in, it's just not there. So if you could somehow figure out a way to be like, this is it, this is it, this is your answer, then that would help. It's just trying to figure that out. And it's not an easy
17-year-old, soon to be 18-year-old CASA kiddo who's refusing to go to an alternate secondary education system right now, which means he could lose his placement and basically be homeless. And so it's been an emotional week or so for me on that front. And so this also really hits home on that front. And one of the things that I think just stood out there is like, I don't think he would even, I think for some students, yes, it's like surviving and it's a choice. But for him, I don't even think he sees it as a choice. Like
Yeah.
he sees it as every system has failed me. Why would I trust another one?
Exactly.
And so for him, it's not even like I chose. And the reason that he didn't finish his diploma is because he's been in the foster system and keeps getting moved every 6 months. So he loses credits so it's not even his fault that he didn't finish high school. Right. And so now he's like in this place where they're like, well, you can be on the streets or you can go to school. And like, what a shitty situation to be in. Right. So I just want to like name that too, that like, it's not even always a choice. And sometimes it's just like, the choice to do it is a choice to trust a system that you have no reason or experience to tell you to
I
trust.
think like the best shot we have at doing that is by choosing a framework in which to approach writing that is focused on the individual and on their strengths. Like asset-based language is not the answer, but it's a way of thinking that I think brings us closer to a solution that is more just and true when it comes to how we're telling other people's stories, because that's what we're doing. So it's a lot of responsibility. Thank